So, I went for a run this morning. Came back home after 2 minutes because I forgot something. I forgot that I'm fat and can't run for more than 2 minutes. I read in the newspaper that Captain Kirk's going to be releasing a line of lingerie. But the marketing people told him that Shatma panties is probably not going to sell that well. I asked Carol if she wanted to go out for dinner tomorrow, and she said yes. So I'm pretty excited because I have the apartment all to myself for the evening. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog 262. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
And I'm shocked those jokes were good.
Yeah, I know. I've been hunting high and low for them. Actually, one of my usual suppliers came in clutch with the first one. I'm not
came in clutch, did they? Did they come in clutch?
That's what the kids say.
They came in clutch.
Yes.
Well
down
done.
with the ute.
Yes.
Down with the ute.
I'm down with the ute.
Clutch.
Yes, I've got my hat on backwards and everything. Hello, fellow children.
Are you wearing your trousers around your knees? Because if you're down with the ute, that's really not where you want them.
No, exactly. Well, not unless the police come knocking. Anyway, so yes, hello everyone, and yes, welcome to Black Dog 262. As ever, we'll see how everyone's week's been. We'll have some feedback for the episode last week, which was ISS, and then we'll be on to this week's movie, which is yours, Jim, which is
The Life of Chuck.
The Life of Chuck. Yes. So we'll be off to the Life of Chuck pretty soon. But first, as ever, let's get started and let's see how everyone's week's been. And as ever, we will start with you, Jim. How's it been, sir?
Fairly quiet, really. It was, we had nice weather the other week, and I had lots of the weather's getting good. There's lots of things, sort of outstanding jobs that need a bit of good weather for doing, like painting the bathroom ceiling, doing some outdoors work, and of course the temperature's plummeted again, so that's all in tatters.
Right.
But so that's that then. But yeah, so it's been fairly quiet, really. Not done an awful lot.
That's perfectly fine.
Apart from, I did watch an interesting movie, which if it turns up on streaming, it will go on the docket, called Redux.
I've got that to watch.
Which is nothing about ducks.
No, and it is on Amazon Prime.
Aha.
So there you go. Sorry, I get the feeling we might be having slight delays on your internet, sir.
Okay.
Yes. But yes, no, a Redux. Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times on Amazon Prime. I haven't actually watched it yet. Is it any good?
I really liked it. I mean, when you read the synopsis, it sounds sort of very sort of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
But it sort of isn't. Because basically it's about, this is in the synopsis, it's about a woman whose daughter's been murdered, who is actually now travel parallel timelines and killing a murderer in every single one.
Nice.
But it is sort of Black Mirror in the fact it is well thought out, and it establishes kind of, it thinks into the corners of what doing this would be like. But it's not really that Black Mirror-y per se. But it is a jolly good film, very interesting sort of movie. I'm trying to think of a film I can compare it to that isn't too spoilery, and I can't really do it.
No, that's cool.
But it is, I don't know, it's sort of, it's probably in a weird way closer to Groundhog Day, the idea of doing the same thing and again.
Yeah.
And because you know how universe are only slightly different, so you know things are going to play out more or less, maybe. But there's always that element of chance that it might not go where you think it is.
Okay, right, fair enough. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it because I've seen it advertised a few times, and a friend of mine said sort of recommended it to me as well prior to this one. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that it keeps coming up. So Maybe we should
It
stick
comes
on
up
the
again
docket.
and again in an ironic fashion.
Yeah, in an ironic fashion, in a film about killing people over and over again in multiple dimensions. Yeah, well, it is on Amazon Prime and it is free. So, insofar as Amazon Prime's free, so it might be worth a look. Definitely. Cool. It is your pick this week, Elton. By the way, I'm just mentioning that.
It is. Yes, I'm already prepared. So it's all good.
Lovely. Awesome. So, anything else, sir?
No, I'll leave that there, I think.
Brilliant.
I'm sure I've done other things, but I've just forgotten.
Nah, that's
I'll
fine.
keep them in the bank for next week.
That's it, exactly. So, over to you then, Elton. What about your week then?
Oh, it's been a tough week. It's been
Is
a
it?
real tough week. Yes.
Okay.
Some of it I will share here, very briefly, and some of it I will not. I may mention it in the green room later on.
Okay, yes.
Because man, it's dark stuff.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So, I had, I saw half of my family, which I saw the other half that we don't normally get to see, the cousins side of things,
Okay,
and we don't get to see him as much as I want to or should do,
right.
which was really, really nice. Unfortunately, it was at a family funeral.
Right.
So that has it's like,
Yeah.
we should do this more often before these things happen.
Yes.
But, life and such.
Yeah.
But that was really nice. It was a good drive down to Southampton to go see them and do what we had to do down there.
Yeah.
And then some wacky shit happened there as well. So
Right.
I won't mention what happened there because
Yes. Oh, fair enough.
but don't worry, you guys will find out very, very soon.
Juicy dangler.
Apart from that, I'm racking my brain as to if I've seen anything or watched anything. I don't think I have.
No, that's cool.
It's been a pretty quiet week,
That's absolutely fine.
but quite sad as well.
Yeah. Well, these things happen, and
Yeah.
just look on the positives that you got to see the family, and maybe that's his first step towards something else.
Yeah, exactly.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I might just leave my week there, if you don't mind.
That's perfectly fine. No problems at all. Again, I say this every week. No, not every week's going to have to be eventful, sort of funny. I mean, my one's got a few things in it, but we'll see. But anyway, no, it's fine. Okay, cool. Well, we'll move on then. Darren.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Literally, sod all has happened
Wow.
this week.
We're in the sod all mode. Right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, not that like Elton, not that I'm prepared to talk about here.
No,
Anyway,
that's
some
fair.
things did happen, but
Yes.
in general, not very much. Apart from just one thing I played this week, which I think came
Go on.
through on Humble Bundle, and it's called Cubic Odyssey.
Cubic Odyssey.
Yep.
Okay.
It's basically it's Minecraft, but it's sci-fi Minecraft,
Okay.
and it's got actual spaceships in it and stuff like this, and you could travel to different planets and go into different worlds. But you're fighting
Psycraft.
against. No,
Psycraft.
yeah, Psycraft.
Psycraft, nice.
That's what it should be called. Actually, maybe I'll write to them and you need to change the name of your game, not Cubic Odyssey. Call it this, okay? But it is using the Minecraft engine to do things. It's literally the same sort of process, but you've got things like laser diggers and stuff like this doing the work for you. So it's not just like a pickaxe. It's you can have heavy weaponry and stuff like that in it, or grenade launchers and God knows what else. And you're fighting against this thing. I think they call it the Red Menace,
Right.
and it's this substance from another galaxy, from another dimension that's broken through to ours, and it's slowly taking over the planets. And you've got an abundance of planets to go to, right? Your mission, though, is to basically reignite all these holy temples on different planets to try and stop the rest of the infection from coming through. But you do have run-ins for these things, and sometimes they're quite major. On the first sort of solar system that you're in, just as a part of the whole sort of learning you to play the game, you do have to go to a planet that's been completely taken over, and you have to, do the suicide bomb thing of taking out the actual thing that's holding it all together. So you have to run in and literally risk your life to try and point this missile at it and just hold the trigger button down while everything else is coming onto you. It's like, am I going to get out of this or what? So, it's really, really good. I've had quite a bit of a laugh playing it, actually.
Nice.
So, I don't think it's actually, let's see, is it on, have we got it on loaded?
That's fine.
Odyssey. No, I don't think it's on there at all. No.
Man looks up thing.
Man looks up thing. Yeah, it's always a good thing. Good, a good thing to have on a podcast is somebody surfing the internet.
Exactly.
Oh, look at that!
Always makes for an entertaining podcast.
Yeah. Oh, look at that! It's a kitten.
Well, I never
falling out of a hammock.
Isn't this TikTok funny? It's silent, but it's funny. Oh God. Cool.
What's this prawn hub? Yeah.
Hold on, what's this?
For your prawns.
Fishy.
Yeah.
It certainly is, in more ways than one.
Yeah. Oh, well. Cool. I'll just gloss right over that before you go down the entire seafood porn.
Go down?
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Deep dive.
Oh, this is getting more carry on as it goes along. Let's move on.
Ooh, where's the Swanee whistle icon? Where's
matron.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my week is really only three things, really. The first one is it's a big annoyance. We sat down to watch. It's been a while since we watched the series together, me and Carol, and so we decided we were going to catch up on Bosch. The Bosch TV series, the detective series, and we've just finished it. We just finished series 7, so we're on to Bosch Legacy now, which is like the 3 seasons that follow the main story. So he's now a private detective. So it's like, brilliant, we'll watch that. And we put it on Amazon, and we're watching it for about 5 minutes, and suddenly ads blow up, and it's like, hey, do you want to buy some nappies? Press this button, it'll go straight on your Amazon guest wish list. And it's like, what? No. And then it does another ad for another minute about toothpaste, and then it does another ad for another minute about fucking socks or something. And it's like, excuse me, I'm on Amazon Prime and I pay for the ad-free tier. Why am I seeing fucking ads in an ad-free tier, that I'm paying for? I'm paying an extra £6 a month or something stupid.
I'm paying
to
$2.99 for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that we pay Amazon Prime and then we got to go and put an extra bundle of cash on the end every month to not see ads. So why the fuck am I seeing ads? And apparently it's like this series, you look it up on Reddit and all this sort of thing, and there's some mealy-mouthed thing about the fact that it's quote-unquote, and ironically, a legacy product, and it's being stored on old Amazon servers, so therefore they have to be supported by ad tier revenue.
Fuck off.
What a load of shit.
I mean, forget the fact that Jeff Bezos, if you put every single one of his billions as single individual $5 bills, you could put them end to end and wrap around the sun 4 times. I don't think the guy's wanting for cash for a fucking episode of Bosch.
That's ridiculous.
What
they
an
did
absolute pile of arse.
It's like fucking Amazon Music, right? They used to be really, really good. Amazon Music a few years ago, and then they turned it into fucking Spotify, and you have to pay to be able to fast forward more than 3 times now.
Yeah,
right. Fuck off. I paid for that music earlier on. I should be able to do what I fucking well like with it.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're only paying for a license.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Yep. Indeed.
You have to pay to fast forward.
I know.
What the fucking hell is going on?
Exactly.
I do question the point of having Amazon anymore, because I don't get anything delivered by them anymore now. I just ain't bothered. I'd rather deal with businesses directly, especially the smaller ones, and get them to, send stuff out, because this is getting a bit much now.
Getting a bit much. I mean, fucking Disney. I mean, that was the worst one. Last week or the week before, I might have mentioned it, which was that it my mum watches Grey's Anatomy and something else on Disney, and the kids watch the Marvel stuff. And Katie has got into trashy shit like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives or some bollocks like that. And
Jesus,
I don't know. It's beyond me. And I'm sitting there going,
but she's educated, damn it.
Yeah, I know. I think it's like in
Amish TV.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like sort of like in The Boys with that really super smart lady, the villain, and she has to sort of lobotomize herself to be dumb herself down for a few minutes so she can't see how horrible the entire world is. But the fact of the matter is, it's like you're watching Disney and you're thinking, okay, fine, it's another bloody 70 quid a year. And then you get a lovely message come through going, yeah, we're bumping it up to 125 a year. Oh. And it's like, you fucking what? For what? For what? 10,000 shitty Star Wars spin-offs left, right, and centre, and fucking 400 versions of the same Pixar movie. No. I'd much rather just buy DVDs and be done with it.
It's getting to the point where, is it cheaper to be fined for pirating than it is for signing up for these services?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, the trouble is they lost sight of what made streaming popular in the first place. Why killing piracy was you had everything under one roof, you paid your money, and that's it. But then they got greedy. And every cunt wanted their own streaming service, and it's going back to the bad old days of cable television, where people are paying £300 a month in extra add-ons.
Yeah,
and you're paying like the home box. Oh, I've got this. All right, I've paid for the base channel, I've the film movie channel, I've got the movie channel, but if I pay extra, I get Premiere. And then if I pay again, I get extra Premiere. And it's kind of, fuck off. You could buy the DVD 6 times over for what you're paying a month.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the streaming at the moment, I think it's, what is it? It's like something like 70, 80 quid a year for Netflix, and then it's 120 odd for Disney, which has got the least amount of anything on any of the services.
And they're the laziest one of the lot for making anything.
Fucking, and their fucking search engine is terrible. They're what's new? Oh, this one thing. But hey, guess what? We got Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on here. Really?
Oh well, that makes all the fucking difference in, doesn't it?
Well, I never. And then you got, I think it's 70, 80 quid for Amazon Prime. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's like nearly 210 quid, nearly 300 quid with Disney. It's like, fuck me. But anyway.
Well, I mean, Netflix as well. Let's have a look at that, shall we? I mean, they used to, part of their model when they first started was, you can watch this, anywhere. Yep, you can sign in anywhere. Hey, why don't you give your grandma your password? Yeah, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Now,
fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, fuck you, pay me now. We don't give a shit if grandma's just sitting there and she can't afford fucking services and you're just trying to help her out. No, I'll tell you what, why don't you pay double?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But then you said a while ago. Yeah, no, don't fuck it. That's in the past. Or did we?
And not that I want to get into this kind of discussion, but when people go on about the BBC license fee.
That pisses me off.
Yeah. I know. And it's like
people who pay thousands to Sky and other streaming services and bemoan 150 quid a year.
Yeah, it's 150 quid for fucking BBC, but for 150 quid you get 1,000 fucking radio channels, you get iPlayer, you get at least 10 TV channels, all in HD. plus movies. It's just like, and it updates every single day with new content. It's it's like, you know, I look at Disney from one month to the other, and it's like, ooh, here's a just making of Mandalorian and Grogu. It's like, I paid 120 quid for this. So don't come at me with fucking BBC anymore, and just don't. Anyway, so that was my big rant for the morning, because it was like we watched 3 episodes and it was just like, oh my god, it was like watching fucking YouTube. You know, it's like every time there was like fade to black for an ad break, and it was just like, oh god. You go off, make a cup of tea, sit back down. It's like, when did streaming become like normal TV but worse?
Yeah.
And then we watched a film, which again, you know, we also had to fucking rent. But we watched a film called How to Make a Killing. Have you seen this or heard of it?
No.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, was that Glenn
Powell, yeah. The man who seems like he's been fashioned he's been chiseled from an AI machine that just says make Hollywood star. Ting! And there he is.
I thought he was good in Running Man, though.
Oh, he is good in Running Man. He's good in Running Man. He's good in Hitman as well. But it's what's funny is he's like clearly like, you know, hewn from rock, and everyone's like, this is
the gym,
yeah. And it's like, in every single film, with the exception of Top Gun Maverick he's ever appeared in, the first thing he does is dress up like a complete buffoon. It's like he's afraid of. He's terrified to look good. The guy, like in Hitman, he had like about a dozen different looks on him, and then in Running Man, he's covered in shit, and it's just like, yeah.
Well, Mark Kermode, when he reviewed Running Man, said, you know, it's great up until the point when Glenn Powell takes his shirt off, and it's like, that's not an ordinary member of the public.
No, exactly. That is not. That is some kind of godly Adonis. Anyway, it's How to Make a Killing is basically a remake of Kind Hearts and Coronets. If anyone feels like being really going into the old classics, with Alec Guinness.
Yeah,
with the members of the family all bumping each other off to get to the inheritance.
Yes.
And you watch this version and you think, oh, this is going to be quirky, funny, bit of sort of like Knives Out style, dark humor kind of thing. And it's hollow, and it goes on for far too long. And all the murders of him bumping off various members of his family. Do you remember when we watched the first ever Captain America movie? And there was all that, and there was all that stuff that was going on in the trailer, and you're thinking, "Oh, great! There's him beating up Nazis left, right, and center." And it was basically a fucking montage about 5 minutes into the film. That's this. Yeah. You got all these like, "Oh, look, how's he going to get rid of the shitty cousin who's got a boat and is a bit of a lad and all this kind of thing." Oh well, you know, he's gonna throw him overboard with a boat, you know, with a boat anchor. Oh, this will be quite funny. How's he going to get away with that? And it's like 2 minutes. He's like he boats up on a jet ski, throws him overboard with a boat anchor, and it's like, that's done. And he's like, right. What about this next person? Well, this next person's terrible, but she goes into the spa, and it's like he just goes in, he poisons her toothbrush, and she dies. And it's like, oh, right. And it just seems like all the bit that you've gone to watch it for is kind of like done. And you're like, right. But the movie's 2.5 hours long. You're like, the fucking hell's going on here? So there's a subplot with Margaret Qualley occasionally appearing and blackmailing him, and him trying to have a normal life even though he's trying to be rich and all this sort of thing. It's just really oddly, it's kind of all skew-if. It's like a poorly made cake. All the bits are there, but it doesn't quite make a cake. You went to make a cake with your kids, and then your kids, instead of putting 1 egg in and a glass of milk, what they put in was 14 glasses of milk and 17 eggs because they like chickens. and then tried to make an egg. Tried to make a fucking cake. You're just
I
sitting
see
there
you're
going,
making an egg or a cake.
I see you're making an omelette with
making an
flour in
egg.
it. You're making an omelette. It's just like, yeah, it's a really weird off kilter kind of thing. And finally, for my week, it's kind of video game related. I was sitting there on Friday and I was playing Hades 2, which I am extremely loving. If only for the banging 80s soundtrack in certain sequences.
Right.
I can't explain it to you. You have to listen to the track, and I have to kind of explain it to you, and it's not worth doing. But anyway, we were playing it, and then all of a sudden, like Jess, as happens on a Friday night, my mate Jess comes online. He goes, "Oh, do you want to play Helldivers or whatever, golf or whatever?" And I'm like, "Right, fine, brilliant." And I press the old PlayStation button to minimize down Hades, and the PlayStation, it does this interesting thing where the entire screen goes completely black. All the lights on the PlayStation go bright blue, which isn't right for the PlayStation 5, I hasten to add. Then they went yellow. Then they went blue again, and then they went blink, 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 and the PlayStation went and switched off.
Oh, lovely.
I'm like, oh, what's this then? And I'm on the phone with Jess because it's like flipping 11:30 at night or something, and he's like saying, "Oh wow, okay, we've got to put the machine into safe mode and all these other things we're trying." Backwards and forwards. Finally got it on the TV working. And it only could come up in really low resolution. It looked like Lego bricks. And it's like, oh, wow, fuck me.
You should have played that game that Darren's been playing.
Yeah. So I downloaded Cubic Odyssey and it was fine.
Wow. 4K, dude.
4K blocks. So anyway, eventually we got it back up to sort of standard HD instead of 4K, which is what the PlayStation was playing at. And then Jess goes, "Look, it seems to be getting better. So before you go too far, just can you touch the back of the PlayStation?" This is on the phone. And I touched it and it was like a fucking hot plate. And it's like, oh no. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. Oh no. Then I touched the side of the PlayStation, which would normally be the floor plate where it would stand vertically. And that was like, you could cook an egg on it. And it's like, oh, things have gone badly wrong here. And at this point, he's like, this is you've clearly got temperature issues. Maybe it just needs a clean out.
Do you think so?
Yeah. So, thanks for that, Jess. So anyway, clearly heat problems going to clear it up. So the next day, I get the PlayStation and I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to open this thing up. I open it up and it was like the end of Avengers Infinity War. Yeah, I mean, it's like every member of the cast has been dusted and they're all in my PlayStation.
I feel funny.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my PlayStation goes, yep, that's Peter Parker. That's Doctor Strange. And it looked like my PlayStation was going to be transformed into a werewolf. And I just thought, oh, well, there's your problem right there. But
did you have to travel back in time to reassemble the people in some stupid fucking fashion?
Yeah, which isn't like Back to the Future, honest gov.
Yeah.
But then what I did was I'm like, right, okay, what have I got to do? Get on YouTube, way of disassembling PlayStation 5s for cleaning, look through all that. And the guy goes, right, okay, what you need is a Torkstar 8 screwdriver. And I'm like, a Torkstar 8. And it's like one of the,
of course I've got one. Why wouldn't I have one? I've got one right next to me right now.
Yeah, a little Star 8, T8.
Yep.
Star thing. Yep. So I'm like, oh great, am I going to do this? And he also says, don't just try and be clever and put the Hoover to the fan, because the fan is one of these big ones which has got like a big wiring thing going to it, and if you spin the fan, it'll actually act like a dynamo and send a charge back to the motherboard. So it's like, oh
What?
I've actually got to take the fan out.
Yeah.
I've actually got to disassemble the thing and take the fan out and disconnect it. So now I'm like, oh shit! So how am I going to unscrew this poxy thing? And I'm like, how am I going to find a T8 star ratchet thing? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to go into town. Carol's gone off in the car, so I've got no way of doing that. So I'm thinking, okay. Let me think. I know. I'm going to go down to the hardware store round the corner called Min's. And I'm going to see if they have a socket set. So I go down there, not a socket set, screwdriver set. Go down there. Nah, they ain't got nothing. Got nothing. I'm like, fuck. I'm now thinking I'm going to have to get a bus and a train and all this kind of other thing to go find an electrical hardware store. And as I'm walking back, I'm like, I'm going to go get myself a drink on the way home. And I walked through Lidl. And guess what I found in the fucking centre aisle of Lidl?
Of course you found it. It's like Mr. Ben's.
A trombone and an
clothes
underwater
shop.
welding set.
Yeah, and exactly, a trombone and
Surface
underwater
service
welding
whole
set.
system.
Yeah, a small rudimentary lathe, some metallic tools for creating fire from flint,
Some Higgs boson particles by any chance?
yeah,
Yes.
the LHC, yeah,
And a duck whistle.
yeah, pretty much in a fucking wetsuit.
Fucking
yeah.
list of technical shit that you bought, and at the end of it, it's a duck whistle. Yeah. Fucking brilliant.
So yeah, and I found
Just because.
my Star T8 socket set, my screwdriver set,
Of course you
in
would.
the
In
centre
Lidl.
aisle of Lidl. It's like,
Why would you go to something like Screwfix or anything like that? No, don't go there. Go Lidl.
well,
They'll
that's
have
the
it.
thing. I was going to go to Screwfix, but the problem is the nearest Screwfix is like sort of 2 bus rides away, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't want to go that. It's going to take me like an hour and a half get there, an hour and a half get back, and it was just like, but
Easier
yeah.
just to order a new PlayStation off of Amazon, isn't it?
At that point, yeah, at that point, but it'd probably come with ads.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I bought this Star socket set from Lidl for like £4, and it's like, if you were to ask me like 20 minutes before, where would I find the vital piece of highly technical machine tooled equipment, it wouldn't be somewhere stuck between the Hovis loaves and the fresh fruit section of Lidl. It just wouldn't. It's like right next to the powdered eggs and the welly boots. There's a socket set. But yeah, so I took it apart, took the electrical thing out, and yeah, it was a bit of a heart stopper because at least one of the screws fell into the fan, and I'm like, oh
Jesus.
God, and it's all rattling around inside the machine. But yeah, but I eventually got it out, like playing Operation. Which was even funnier because then Elton, after I announced I was doing this on Facebook, Elton put up a little GIF of Operation, and I'm like, "Are you looking at me as I'm sitting there with a tweezer trying to get this bloody screw out of the PlayStation?" But yeah, I hoovered this thing out with a Henry Hoover, and ever since it's been absolutely fine. I can't stress enough, if anybody's got a console at all, please, if just take a half an hour out of your day and take it apart and just give it a hoover before it melts itself. Because I've never seen a PlayStation do that, and I really did see 500 quid flash before my eyes. Because it was like, there's no way I'm doing without one of them. Electricity, food, yeah, I can do without that. PlayStation, no, I've got to get another one. But yeah, so there you go. That's my week.
Fabulous.
Remember, hoover your electrics, people.
It's well worth it, definitely.
Yeah, just remember, if it's got a fan in it, if it's got a big fan in it, take the fan out or disconnect the fan before you do it.
I honestly, I hadn't, because I've hoovered like Xboxes and PlayStations and PlayStation 4s, and I've never thought about the fan generating current and sending it back to the motherboard. So yeah, thank you. That's a good tip to have.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it either, but it was apparently because the fan is so big in the PS5, when it starts to spin, if you spin it the wrong way, that's exactly what it's going to do. So it's just like, I don't suppose it matters when you got those little piddly little sort of whizzy fans that you had in sort of, I don't know, in your sort of, PS1 or anything like that. But it's just, when you got those big chunky sort of like 80 mil, 120 mil fans that are like also about like 3 inches deep. I mean, there's some substantial copper in there. It's going to generate a field. So so there you go. Anyway, right, we'll wrap it up there, and let's do some feedback for last week's episode.
It's feedback time.
Yes, so last week we did ISS as the final part of our Sad Person in Space's sad season. And we got some feedback back. The first one is from Ian Spaceshipstead, who gave us our spaceship rating for this week. He said, "Great view, no atmosphere." Thank you very much. I'm sure we should have a spaceship rating for everything, but I don't think you can get one in for the life of Chuck, but we could give it a go. Peter Organ, Reverend Org of the Orgcast, wrote in and said, "Many thanks for the Game Sir recommendation, Mr. Jim, from last week. Spent a couple of happy hours playing Fallout 4 today on my very, very low spec PC. Thanks to that review." There you go. See, you've saved someone's money.
Hooray!
Yeah,
it's a rare gift in today's landscape.
Exactly. After what we've just been talking about. Also, after we were discussing how to pronounce Gary Busey or Busey or Bussy last week, and you looked it up, didn't you, Elton?
I can't remember. Yes,
the Bussy, the boy
Busey.
Busey, the boy Busey. Anyway, it was a bum. Sean Gleason did come back and say, "I warned you not to Google it."
That's right. Yes.
Yep. Because you did done Google it while we were live on air.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Without the aid of a safety net.
Yes, exactly. You can only be warned so many times. And anyway, we then had another piece of feedback from Andy Mack. And Andy writes, "Sorry to be that guy, but as an Andy, I have to rain on your comedy cash cow from your last podcast. The actor that starred in the shit show that was ISS is John Gallagher Jr. and not Andy from The Office, who is Ed Helms, who has that particular honour. Again, sorry for being an agony aunt, but I was driving home down under, from work, and you geezers were driving me insane with Andy from The Office shtick. So much so that I started to question my own slim grasp of reality. Keep up the fucking bonza work, lads. Andy Mack from Briz Vegas. And he helpfully leaves a picture of John Gallagher Jr. in 3 pictures, and then also Ed Helms, and with arrows going Andy, not Andy.
Yep.
There you go. So there you go. But do you want to reply again, Elton? Because you did reply online. But...
Oh yeah, I don't want to come across as like a knob and saying that, but I was well aware that wasn't Andy from The Office.
I wasn't.
But it looks a hell of a lot like him in the film.
It did, but I genuinely didn't know. I've only seen The American Office once or twice, and I kind of like my brain just went, "Oh yeah, that's right." So I just went with it. So,
I didn't know the actor in ISS, but I knew that it wasn't Andy. But he reminded me of him so much, I was like, screw it. That's the only way I can refer to him now. It's Andy from The Office.
But it's interesting because there's like looks for various actors who appear now where you can go, I can't tell them apart. So like, for example, there's the Samara Weaving, Margot Robbie, Jamie Priestley triumvirate.
Oh yeah,
you go,
yeah.
they all look the bloody same. And then now I've noticed that. Oh God, what's his name? Who plays Ben Grimm in the Fantastic Four?
Eben.
Yeah.
Oh,
Eben Moss Backrack.
That's the one. Yeah.
Who's in who's in The Bear.
Yes.
But he looks like Andy from the Office, Ed Helms, and John Gallagher Jr. as if they were mixed. It's like you could have a little triangle of all three of them and go, they aren't that different.
We could
They were
do
the transport
actor
accent.
mathematics, couldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. It's like those old face blending apps where you could get two faces and you could make a third.
Yeah.
Did we used to have a section like this called If Wet?
Yeah, If Wet, that's it.
Yes, If Wet.
Yeah, it's like Harrison Ford. If Wet, we go for Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, yes, straight away.
There you go.
There you go. So Andy from The Office, If Wet, John Gallagher Jr. And there you go. So there you go. That's another one. If anybody wants to write in with an If Wet option, so you know we've got Margot Robbie, If Wet, Samara Weaving.
Yes.
But if anybody's got
Easy.
steady, you know, and you know, make up your own.
This
jokes from that
podcast
one.
is reversing.
Yeah, caution. Podcast is reversing.
Pornhub tune.
Yeah. So you know, If Wet, just let us know. Just if anybody's got an If Wet actor, just let us know. We'll put it in the feedback section. Right. Feedback. Where do you send it? Well, you send it into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com by email, or you can jump on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. And I am slowly returning to Blue Sky, so you can send me a DM on cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. Or social. Blue. Oh, God. That's how long ago it's been since I've been on Blue Sky. cartoonbeardy.social.bsky. Blue Sky? Oh, for goodness fucking sake, my brain's
They're
not
clever people. They can work it out. It's fine.
I'm sure they can, but I've got to be. It's a thing. I've got to be me. All right.
Why could they have simplified their addresses? I do not know.
I don't know either.
Someone at B Sky. Done.
Yes.
Why all these unnecessary dots making it confusing?
Oh, there you go. Cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. There you go. The world is a better place. We have done it. Right, there you go. Congratulations, everyone. We've done it. This is the first half of the podcast. It can only go down from here. And again, make your own jokes up from that bit. Right. So we'll take a break. And when we come back, we will be discussing? I'll put my teeth
Sean
in.
Connery, discussion.
Aye.
Shut your face.
Yes, we'll be discussing the life of Chuck. Chuck. What the fuck is Chuck? We'll be discussing that. Anyway, roll the jingle.
Ooh, we're watching a new movie we've never seen before. I'm buttering my nipples and waxing my ass. Roll up the Mystery Monica film. Roll up for the Mystery Monica film. Roll up
Masturbation.
for the Mystery Monica film. Roll up for the Mystery Monica film. The Mystery Monica film is waiting for us to hit play. Going to watch it today. What will we say?
Right, The Life of Chuck is a 2024 American fantasy drama film written for the screen and co-produced and edited and directed by Mike Flanagan, who probably made the tea. It's based off
Jonathan Cohen was on the piano, but it was Mike who played it.
Exactly, Mike was right there. He sang the theme tune. He wrote the theme tune. I can be so good for you. I made the life of Chuck. It's true. Anyway, it's based on the 2020 novella of the same name by Stephen King. The film stars Tom Hiddleston, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I always hear it and I know how I'm going to pronounce it, and then I say it and it's like because I'm looking at the letters. That bloke, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Karen Gillan, Mia Sarah, Carl Lumbey, Benjamin Pack, Jacob Tremblay, and Mark Hamill. A narration by Nick Offerman. The film's plot follows the formative moments of the life of Charles Chuck Krantz, chronicled in reverse chronological order. And I'll leave it there because the rest seems to be a bit of a spoiler that it doesn't seem to be hiding away. The Life of Chuck was premiered at the Toronto Film Festival on September the 6th, 2024, where it won the People's Choice Award. It had a budget which is not disclosed. How much did it make at the box office, Darren?
One fucked up internet. That's what it made.
Right. Okay. Jim.
It made twice the contributions in the Magic Hat.
Twice the contributions in the Magic Hat. It's always a good one. Elton.
An expensive pair of shoes and a 3/4 beat.
Oh, we're getting technical. Well, actually, you're all wrong. What it actually made was one advert for Pornhub between two consenting adults. Anyway, right. So, before we get to the spoiler zone and discuss it properly, let's just quickly go around the table in a non-spoiler fashion and let us know what we thought of The Life of Chuck. Jim, you did pick this, so you'll go last. So we'll start with you, Elton. What did you think of The Life of Chuck?
First off, I enjoyed this. It's once you've seen the whole movie, you realize how simple this movie is, though. I don't know if I'm a fan of the dancing in it, but it's impressive. It's technical. I think the cast is very, very good throughout. But it is, I think it's a bit of a bit weak.
Okay.
Once you realize what it's about, I find it's a little weak.
Okay.
That's not to say I didn't enjoy it, but I think it's like a very airy pastry. No, not pastry. Milk drink.
I was going to
Very
say something. I
airy
feel
and
like an apple
bubbly.
turnover.
It's like a carbonated milk drink.
Carbonated milk.
This sounds like a disastrous tale of an experiment with soda stream in your childhood servicing.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Don't put milk in a soda stream. That's a public service announcement. Okay, an airy milk drink.
Yeah, there's a
hairy milk drink.
No,
Oh,
an
God, that's
airy,
even worse.
an airy milk drink. Imagine a child has made you a glass of milk and gone, do you know what'll make this better? If I blow bubbles in it. And they blow bubbles in it and then they hand it to you and expect you to drink that. And now you're left with more in front of you. But what is more, it's just full of air.
Okay.
There's an analogy there somewhere.
I tell you what.
Wasn't that the analogy?
I don't know.
A glass of bubbly milk. I mean, or is there an analogy
Is
for
this
the
like
analogy?
bubble tea?
I
Is
feel
it
like
tea
the
with
wheel-
bubbles in it?
I feel like the wheels have just come flying off. I mean,
Tea with bubbles in it?
I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you do know what froth is in a cappuccino, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, just so we're all on the same page.
I'm not a coffee drinker.
Okay. Do you know what spray cream is? Squirty cream is.
Yes.
Right, now then.
Okay.
Pornhub music. Pornhub music.
Yeah, do you know what squirty cream is? it is just milk and air.
There we go.
And
This film is a can of spray cream.
There you go. There you go. We got there. We did it, people. Thank
And
you very
now
much for
everyone
listening.
understands.
Thank you very much for listening. See you all next week for I don't know, the milkmaid. Right. Okay. So it's yeah. No, I'm not doing it again. Right. Okay. So a bit flyaway, a bit lightweight for you.
Yeah, there you go. I wish you'd done my review for me.
No, it's fine. It's fine. The part of your review, the part of the joy of your review, Elton, is us all joining in, helping you along with it. Brilliant. Right, Darren. Has he gone off? He's gone off to get another one of those fucking raisin cookies.
No,
We
haven't.
mentioned spray
did.
cream, and now he's gone to the cupboards.
Yeah.
Yes,
all we
I
can
have.
hear in the background by the fridge is
You mentioned spray cream, and now I'm getting naked. Right. Anyway,
yeah.
I've got
He started rubbing
I've
his
got you.
legs and Jones in for it.
Yeah.
I've got your hairy milk drink right here. No. Anyway,
Yeah. Go on. So what did you think of Life of Chuck?
I liked it.
Mhm.
It's I think this is going to be very much a Marmite film.
Mhm.
But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was whimsical enough for me to enjoy it. I just went along for the ride.
Okay.
That was it. So I didn't know what the fuck was going on at the beginning of it, where the hell it was going to go, but then I kind of twigged very early on what the whole, the first bit of the film was about. So, yeah, I still enjoyed it. I had moments that I smiled to myself in this,
Yeah.
and shouting at the screen at one point as well. So,
Hmm.
but not in anger, as in encouragement to one of the characters. So, yeah.
Okay. Was it squirty cream for you, Dal?
No, it definitely wasn't squirty cream, and you'll find out why we shouldn't mention squirty cream when you find out which bit I'm talking about.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah,
oh, good
'cause
Lord.
I could get you on a list.
Oh, good Lord.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm fearful now. I fear this might be the last episode of the Black Dog. Okay. For me, these kind of films, I really enjoy as a thing in my head, as a thing I can sort of go, yeah, a sort of modern fable, modern fairy tale kind of thing. Really like it. But whenever it deals with things like, whenever it deals with some of the themes that are in this, I always, there's a couple other movies it reminded me of, which I won't say because we're not in the spoiler zone section. But whenever it gets to these kind of things of like whimsical, life of kind of things, and looking back and looking forward, I always get unbelievably morose and sad watching them. I really do. I enjoy them and I really dig it, but I also get into that bit thing in my head of just like, oh God, it's actually fundamentally at the back of it, it's quite sad. No matter how much you dress it up, it's bloody fucking sad. So while I came away from it thinking there's a positive message in it and there's a positive vibe to the whole thing, I did come away from it in the same way as I did watching a few other films, which again I won't mention here because that will be a spoiler, where I just felt like part of me just wanted to go in the corner and just sob for an hour to myself. Just hug myself and go, it's a waste of time. Oh my God. And so, yeah. So these kind of films, they always kind of trigger some kind of mad existential sorrow deep within my soul. No matter how much whimsy you dress it up in, I'm just like, oh no. Oh God. So, yeah. So on the one hand, thumbs up. On the other hand, if anybody else thinks like I do, I hope to God that nobody does, but if anybody does think like I do, know this: you may have one of those moments of just wanting to go and walk into the sea and go, "Oh my God, what have I done with my life?" Ah! And yeah, so yeah, that's a world away from squirty cream. Yes. So what about you, Jim? How did you feel?
Okay, so I actually had read the novella, which is actually more like 3 sort of linked short stories, and I was intrigued to see how they were going to bring it to the screen, and I have to say I was very impressed. I really enjoyed this. Although it's one of those films, it's like one of those like wistful little tunes that sounds happy, but it also sounds a bit sad.
Yes.
Because I mean, possibly it's my own personal situation, but it was, a few bits, it was getting a bit dusty in the room.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was beautifully played without ever getting too schmaltzy, because it always had. Naughty Jim, no spoilers.
Really? Steady.
But there's as you said, that it isn't just whimsy. It is a film about life, but it's also a film about dying as well. And I think the way it balances the two, I think is really clever. And there's some interesting little sort of extrapolations that aren't in the book that just tie things up very, very sort of nicely, I think. And I mean, it's one of those films, there's moments I think in genuine joy in it, as well as something else a bit more existential, shall we say.
Yes.
And just great to see so many great actors just popping up in it as well.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Brilliant. So there you go. So that's our general vibe of the whole thing. If this sounds like something for you, or if you're like me and you don't want to plunge into deep existential angst, then by all means, make your decision. But if you're going to go any further, know that we are now diving into the spoiler zone. Warning, this is the spoiler zone. Just warning.
Put your helmet on. We'll be reaching speeds of 3.
It's the spoiler zone. Spoilers!
Shut up, Wesley.
Right, so here we are in the spoiler zone. Where do we start with this film? I don't know where to start with this film. I guess my first question, the movie itself is in 3 acts. Why do you think it started with Act 3? Is there any significance to it starting at the end beyond trying to be clever?
I think so, because if you started it at the beginning, then you wouldn't have that rug pull of the end, because you'd recognise the actors from various parts of the story, and it's like, oh, so it's all going on in that's his imagination, that's his world inside his brain, with populated by all the characters that he's ever met. There wouldn't be that essence of what the fuck is going on? What is this? Why are these people going through all this? What is this thing? Who is this Chuck person? So I think it needs to be put in the order that it was to make its point better, I think.
Also, it's a story of a boy who dances and then doesn't dance for a long time, does a dance in the street, and then dies.
Yeah.
Maybe that says something about, I don't know. And there was a whole thing about adulthood and being an adult, being a proper sort of full-on, no, we must put away childish things and be an adult all the time now. And then getting near the end of his life, because they do say, when you get into a certain part of your elderly years, you do start regressing into you being a child. You become less useful, and people have to do more and more things for you, just like a child. So, and that's maybe what happened there. Maybe he knew something was up and he just thought, fuck it, I'm going to dance. Going to live my life like I should have done. This is a missed opportunity and I'm going to make up time and I don't care anymore. I just want to be me.
Okay, cool. Jim, what's your thought on that?
Well, it starts with Act 3. It is partly because it is setting up this sort of it's telling a story in reverse, and there is sort of certain reveals that make sense later on, sort of narratively. But I mean, I got this from reading the book, and I got it even stronger from watching the movie. Is I think that third act is like it ties into the themes about living and living life, and I think it's King kind of commenting on kind of how we're living now.
Yeah,
we're all absolutely knackered, and we know the end's coming.
Yeah,
in their world, things are literally stopping working, but how all those characters are feeling and responding is like how we're all responding to the current bullshit, which is frankly not going any place good. And we're going to end up in some serious shit soon.
Yeah,
but it's this kind of not apathetic, but this is just exhausted. I can't keep up with this shit anymore.
Yeah, that sort of malaise.
Yes, and this is a film about living and how to live, but what makes life worth living. And this third act is kind of just that kind of as the old Undertaker says, it's kind of we reached the acceptance stage. It's just just people just I can't hold back the tide anymore, and I can't care anymore, and I'm exhausted. And I think it's all the end of everything, the end of the Chuckverse, if you will. That is a metaphor for how we are living, how so many of us are living now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What about you? Because I mean, I know you just flippantly just said it's about a guy who wants to dance, doesn't dance, then does dance, then dies. But I mean,
well, yeah, because if it is doing that rug pull of creating a weird and wacky apocalyptic scene, which is really, really interesting because you just don't quite know exactly what's going on. And that makes it really, really fun. When you're really trying to work stuff out like that, and going, what is going on? Why is the internet dying? Why has half of San Francisco disappeared?
Yeah.
Is this the end of times? And if you'd played the film in the correct in the way that life, the linear way that life had actually worked its way out, then it is a boy who becomes very good at dancing, stops and just life gets in the way, does a dance, and then dies. That's all it is. And so you need that third act first,
right,
to create the mystery, to create the ambience of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That is like the third act is like doing the edges of a puzzle, and the second and third first act are all the pieces in the middle that you put together.
Yeah.
And I know that's how you do puzzles, but it's if it had just been told linearly, then I think it wouldn't have been as interesting.
Okay, so you just saw it as kind of more of a narrative device to just add some mystery into what is essentially a fairly basic story.
Yeah, I think it's a tool. That's no more. Maybe I'm not too sure if did he write these 3 sections separately? Are they all part of one story, or are they 3 different stories that he's knitted together? I don't know. How old is this book, by the way?
2020. It's
This
only
is
like
fairly recent. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's only in 2020, and the film was like 4 years later. I mean, it's pretty quick.
That's a real quick turnaround. I was thinking it was like a 1980s book that they've brought up to date.
No. I mean, for me, for me, the end, the third act being at the start, as you say, it feels in some ways like a cheap rug pull to give the remaining 2 acts some kind of like mystery. I didn't really feel that, simply because it went so supernatural towards the end of that first act, or rather the third act, with all the stars going and just vanishing. And then just suddenly coming to a sudden stop. I think I twigged it by then what was really going on.
Oh, at what point in the third act, the first part, did you twig it?
Once he started appearing everywhere, and then there was the conversation of who is this guy, what is going on, and then you cut to the dialogue by the kid saying the Walt Whitman thing of "we contain multitudes," and I was kind of like, hang on, there's such a focus on that kid. I don't want to sound like I'm super clever or I figured it all out. I didn't, but it was just like that kind of started twitching in the back of my mind, and then the film started doing all this supernatural stuff, and Chuck suddenly started appearing. I'm thinking, hang on, is this actually real? But then it was done with such aplomb, the whole apocalyptic scenario of the California disappearing into the sea and the internet going off and all these kind of things, that I kind of put it to one side. It wasn't like the be all and end all. That's why I kind of asked in the first place why, if you thought it was a rug pull or there was meaning to it, because once everything started to fade out, and the final bit of the fade out is Chiwetel Ejiofor turning to Karen Gillan and trying to say "I love you," and then it just cuts before he gets the whole word out. To me, was kind of like, there we are. Mm-hmm. It's literally the regret for the things you didn't say, the lament for the things that you're never going to see again. Oh God, it's doing me up again. It's doing me again. It's doing me again.
Would you like to go and stand outside for 2 or 3 minutes?
Fucking bastard. Fucking existential movies, bastards.
We can talk about Die Hard if you want.
Let's do a RoboCop quote. Let's do a RoboCop quote. No, anyway, so it's all the things you could have done. Can you fly, Bobby? But it's all the things you didn't say, all the things you didn't do, all the things you won't see again, all the things you'll regret. And when I really think I twigged it, was every time they kept cutting back to photos of Chuck, whether he was on a board or whether he was in windows floating as a ghostly apparition or whatever, every photo was slightly different. And then when he turned up on the TV of the emergency channel and it hangs on his face for just a bit too long, that smile isn't a smile.
You see it drop.
You see it drop and it becomes sadness. And that was
you get a flash frame and you can see it's actually in a hospital just for a split second.
Yeah. And then with the beeps and the heart beeps and all that kind of thing in the creepy hospital with Karen Gillan. And I just thought, okay, I've got it. But straight away, the more I think about it and the more I think about that opening scene, I always think about I don't even know where it's come from. And I'm going again. Fucking hell. It's that everyone, oh God.
Rhubarb and custard cartoons. That's what you got to think of.
Yes, yes. Yep. RoboCop, yes. It's give the man a hand.
Dick, I'm very disappointed.
I'm sure it's just a glitch. A glitch. Everyone's a library. Everyone's a library.
That, funnily enough, that's where this story came from.
Oh, right.
Because I have, I've got Life of Chuck on Kindle because it was originally published in one of his anthologies, but when the movie came out, they took it out and put it out as an ebook on its own, but with an introduction by Stephen King.
Right.
And he said that the story was written in 3 parts in the order you see on the film.
Right.
And the first part came from a quote, and he said he thinks an African proverb that says, "When an old man dies, a library burns down."
That's the proverb. That's the one I was trying to get to.
And that was his inspiration. So he wrote that, and then not long after he wrote it, he saw a busker, which sort of gave him the second part, and then the third part just came because you get on a linear path back to the beginning.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So the idea that it's not supposed to be a huge Sixth Sense M. Night Shyamalan style twist that the world's ending because Chuck's ending. You are supposed to get that.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not. You are supposed to get that in that act.
Yeah.
But how it all sort of ties together was definitely throughout the other 2 acts give what you see in the third act more weight in retrospect when you know who those people were, and who they were to Chuck. Yeah,
exactly. It's a film about regret, and it's a film about living in the present, living in the now, and making the most of every single bit. Yes, you might be the most boring accountant known to man. Yes, you might be entirely tedious and not with the person you love, but all these things amount to something, even if it's only just for you. And it's something. Oh, stop it, you fucking idiot! It's something I feel increasingly, and probably spawned by social media. The whole idea that you think you're somebody and you think you're the hero in your own story, but one day you're going to get that PlayStation notification that says so and so hasn't been on for 6 months. You're going to get that. Oh, I wonder where that guy who used to post the funny things on Twitter or Blue Sky or Facebook or whatever is, and you'll be thought about for about a millisecond. But in your head, you were an entire city of people and things that you'd experienced and things you'd done and hadn't done. And the only person who will celebrate it and ultimately lament it will be you. And, yeah. Right. Miserable day is miserable. So, yeah. Somebody else talk, for fuck's sake. I'm just going to turn the mic off.
When I watched this, I couldn't help but think of something I saw somewhere on social media. It was either anonymous opinion, where people can put out unpopular opinions anonymously, or Fesshole, where people confess to things.
Yeah.
But one said something, I wish someone told me that the second year of your life is coming to terms with loss. It's the loss of people you've lost touch with. It's people dying. It's also realizing that most of your life is now in the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
And I think this movie does sort of I say it's quite whimsical, but there's a serious edge to it, because it is asking you, what makes your life worth living, and are you doing enough of it? But it doesn't just. Life is like a box of chocolates, and if you go to Vietnam, you'll be all right, but your friend will lose his legs. But fuck him, eh?
Yeah, don't worry.
None of that shit. It's more ambiguous. You know what I mean? It's kind of because I think the third act starter puts you in a frame of mind to ask questions. And the first question is, what's happening? It's kind of, well, the world is dying because Chuck's dying. But further on, you have more questions, like kind of he loved to dance, but he chose a sensible route of becoming an accountant.
Yeah.
But you know he'd been a good accountant like his granddad was, and he'd used accounting to help people out.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And kind of this whole there's lots of questions like, what does make life worth living, and how do we judge that? And
yeah. Yes, exactly. And it's what you measure it by, and what's important. Sorry, go and carry on, Dal. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, talking about this, it's just I've got a line from a Pink Floyd song just comes to mind, and it's and then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun, and it's like, yep.
Sorry, I'm off on the Dave Gilmour tip now. Sorry, you're gonna have to leave it. I'm gonna have to play the whole fucking album now.
Are you whittling in the background?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, I guess in some ways, the film's most interesting sequence visually is actually probably more of the most lightweight moment, which is the dance in Act 2, which is also Act 2 of the film.
yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what did you think was going on there when it first kicked off? I mean, not just the dance. Did you think it was real? Did you think it was a metaphor? Did you think it was just because Tom Hiddleston's been taking dancing classes and he got viral when he went on stage with fucking Franz Ferdinand? Or what is the...
It's a Christmas present, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Dance classes. Okay, what we're going to do with this?
Hold on, we have to go back a bit further than that for Tom Hiddleston. He does that kind of thing a lot. You see him on Graham Norton and stuff like this. He's got up and he's done. I recognise some of those dance moves from his being on those shows. It's like, there's that one, and there's that one.
You're still bitter from not winning the dance class at the dance at Mallory, aren't you?
Yeah, that's
Mallory school disco. You're still sore.
I thought the Zip Zap rap would really, really get me in there and make me win. I really did. Fuck you, devastating Dave. Fuck you.
You might be the turntable slave, but you'll never be a person. You'll never be
a contender ever.
No. Anyway, sorry. Carry on, mate.
Oh, sorry. No. There.
Anyway, what did you think of the dance second act?
This was the. I really enjoyed that dance. I thought it was really, really good. You could see as they were getting into it, it got better and better. And I just thought it was a wonderful piece of sort of like, film there. That whole bit. These two individuals just going, and everybody joining in and just going with it, and nobody having a cynical thing to say. Because you do get that, you get the bad guy turns up and says, "Oh, you losers, why are you doing this?" It's like there was none of that. It was just people celebrating that moment, and it was lovely. It makes a change. It's like with the third act as well, and that was a bit that had me shouting at the screen. By the way, when he sort of like suddenly young Chuck becomes. Overtaken by what his grandfather has said to him, advice that he takes too much to heart, which is, and I'm sitting there, she's asking you to dance, bloody well dance with her, you fucking idiot. What are you doing? Do it. And that was a great thing as well with that bit. Again, where he said originally got the scar on the back of his hand from that guy pulling a knife on him or pushing him against something, and it wasn't. And it was so refreshing to see him walk across the field and suddenly the boy's not there trying to beat him up. It's like, okay. It gets that's a win for me because it's the usual cliched thing of the bully comes out to beat the boy up. Yeah. And the girl comes along to separate the two of them, and then she declares her undying love for the kid getting beaten. And it's just like there was none of that. And it was like that was nice. That was just that was just the perfect topping for that bit there. There is no need for cynicism here. We've got enough knowing the fact that this guy's, is going to die early. The whole 39 wonderful years,
Yeah. Yeah.
On a similar point, I appreciated the fact that, particularly when because this is very faithful to what King wrote, very faithful indeed.
Yeah.
And I was so pleased. No coked up executive wanted to monkey with it, because it's one thing that I didn't think it would happen because it's Mike Flanagan, but in the hands of another director, it could have very easily, because some coked up exec would say, "Hey, that girl he's dancing with in dance class he fancies, they should end up married," and they don't.
Yeah. No.
And that's a lovely little touch of sort of how real life is. You know what I mean? It doesn't play out like a Hollywood story.
No. I tell you one thing I did find interesting in that scene, especially when you look back on the whole film, is how Janice, the lady who dances with him, never turns up in the city that he's in. Never turns up in his magic city.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting because what I thought was quite interesting there is that they do this whole thing of all these people that have made his life, and the one person who, if you're following old sort of like Hollywood narratives, would have made his life the most is the one person he doesn't think about. I just thought it was an interesting thing, and it's like, and then the kind of inference is that he's so focused on himself that she didn't really matter beyond, because neither did the girl doing the
drummer.
Only the girl skating turned up.
How do you explain that? She didn't.
She turned up.
But she was there, but what part did she have to play?
Because she's the moment when he regrets. That's the bit that he misses. That's the moment where, and Nick Offerman says it, doesn't he? He goes, this is whenever he's racked with pain and he's in his dying moments and he can't tell the difference between waking and sleeping and all this kind of thing. That's the point he always thinks that, why did God make pain and all this? Why did he make the world? He made the world for moments like this. The moment where he sits there and, it's a fork in the road. He could have gone off with the dance troupe, with the girl with the red hair and the busker, or he could have just gone back to the accounting seminar. And that girl skating towards him was the last thing he remembers of that scene.
Right. Okay.
At least that's how I read it. I mean, if anybody else wants to jump in on that, on a thought of that.
The red-haired girl was such an important part of that.
Yeah.
So
could the person on the skates be an amalgamation of the girls? The redhead girl he dances with, the girl at the ball as well. Just all of them rolled into one character.
Well, yeah, and I could see what you're saying, but that she does come skating down the road as he splits from the redhead girl when she says, "Oh, I'm going to go this way," and he goes, "Oh, I'm going to go this way."
Yeah,
and they just sort of separate. I just found it an interesting thing when I thought back on it. It's just and it's the point at which he thinks, the point at which he thinks back to is represented only by the girl on the skates.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Jim?
It's interesting who does appear and who doesn't, but generally in the third act, all the main people we see tend to be sort of minor people is encountered.
Yeah,
it's like two were teachers at his school, but he didn't have classes with them.
No, but they did turn up at his dancing in the first act.
They did. But it is kind of, but say in say the end of Chuckverse act at the start, you don't have the drummer, you don't have the girl he danced with, you don't have his wife, you don't have his high school dancing partner or his high school teacher, either the one who taught him dancing, the dance monster, or the hippy dippy English teacher who gives him the "You Contain Multitudes."
Yeah, AKA.
And it's kind of all the people are kind of like the NPCs. If you know what I mean, they're like all the if his film was like, if his life was shown as film credits, you'd have so and so as this, so and so of that. Then you'd have a teacher guy, other teacher lady. You know what I mean? It's all those sort of people, and it's kind of like how when you dream, there's all these people you vaguely know, and it's your brain that's just took memories of people and just are using it to do a bit of casting in the background.
Yeah,
and I see that's kind of what it's like. I'm not sure there's a
meaning to it.
Well, I think it is kind of. I think it's significant that there's no one hugely significant to Chuck or immediate to Chuck in that third act. It's all people he sort of crossed paths with at certain points in his life.
Yeah,
certain key points in some cases. Because say you have the Undertaker, who buried his granddad.
Yeah.
And it is kind of, there are people he has seen and remembered, and I think it's when he sees and remembers them that gives them a significance, which is why they're in the ending world.
Yeah,
although not necessarily in their right roles.
No. Okay. No, it's cool. I did just question it because I thought of all the people who should have appeared, I would have thought she would have been there. But then
I don't think you get to choose who you get to see at the end, though.
No, that's true.
Because this could be this slow breakdown of the apocalypse could be a momentary lapse. It could be 5 minutes of the last 5 minutes of his life, the last 2 seconds of his life, or it could be the last month of his life.
Yeah, the whole
Carl Sagan speech.
Yeah.
I took the life of everything and squished it into a year.
Yeah, exactly. And you're existing in the last millisecond of the last hour of the last day of the last year.
So this could be, when they say your life flashes before your eyes, but because of the adrenaline running and everything, it seems like things take longer than what they are actually taking. And this could be really compressed, and you don't get to choose who pops up in what your brain fires to you. You just get shown that.
Yeah.
And maybe that is part of what we're seeing here as well.
Okay. That's fair. Just interesting, that was all. Cool. I mean, so how did you feel about the dancing? Because you were a bit funny about the dancing, Elton.
I think it looks great. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I suppose it is. Yeah, it's part of the narrative. I don't know. I'm just not being danced at. It's just okay. It's just a thing, isn't it? I don't know how to take it. It doesn't offend me or anything like that. I'm not a massive fan of musicals.
Right.
So I kind of tend to steer clear of them. And in that genre, there's like subgenres of that, of people dancing, people singing. If I watch a movie and all of a sudden there's a random song in the middle by one of the lead characters or a side character, it's like, okay, I don't know if that fits quite well, but it's there. I'll accept it for what it is.
Okay. Let's scratch his La La Land off the docket. Yep, go on, carry
you
on.
can put it on there.
I'm joking. Go on.
I haven't seen that. I'd be interested to watch it, definitely.
I don't think you would. But anyway, come on, carry on, mate.
Yeah, I know how important it is to the actual story itself, but me seeing the whole thing, once he starts dancing, okay, great, you're dancing. That's great. My brain is going, do we need 20 minutes of this? And I know it's not 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
when you're sat there going, okay, right, you're dancing, you're doing the dance, I'm sure it's really good. I'm sure you're getting 10s across the board. When are we going to be moving on from this? Because we're dragging this on a little bit. But I'm sure that's just me.
Okay. How did you feel about it, Jim?
I really liked it because it's one of those interesting. Cause I say it plays out exactly as it's described in the book, and the fact that King pulls off a musical scene on paper was quite something. So I thought this was like a bit of a gift for a filmmaker.
Yeah.
But I think it played beautifully. There's only one major change, and that was the drummer was gender flipped. Not that matters a hoot, because I think the actor they got, she gave a fantastic wordless performance, just in her facial expressions as she reacts to Chuck reacting to the music. And they're both kind of, all right, this is on, let's do this.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? They're both sort of almost like testing each other, of taking it a bit further and just loving it and just, going with the groove.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a great bit of filmmaking. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but this was felt like one of those little bits of magic where, it does happen. I have, in my time, I've seen buskers suddenly just knock out the park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And get a crowd going, and just it's a wonderfully played moment. And it is kind of, while at first you think, oh, it's on that, it's almost like it's a homage to old Hollywood musicals. You don't realize how important the dances are until you get to Act 1.
Yeah.
And how it isn't just Tom Hiddleston giving Christopher Walken in Weapon of Choice a run for his money. It's dancing has an important meaning in Chuck's life. It is tied to some very important things, and one of the most important things it's tied to is it's what brings his grandma back after losing her daughter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it's what it builds their connection. And it's such a clever story, and the movie does it so well. The way things retroactively get meaning. And a lot of these sort of stories where they're telling these in a non-linear fashion. So like 12 Monkeys is the classic example. You get to the end, you want to go back to the start.
Yeah.
Because you want to see how it all plays out once you know. With this movie, when you get to the end, you don't need to go back to the start because you know. And when you think back, all these scenes you've seen have an additional weight because you know what they mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Darren?
Yes.
I did ask you about the dancing, but you just were talking about the moves. But I was going to say, what about you? How are you feeling about the whole second act sequence? Was it just the dance thing and just as a moment, or did it work for you? How did you feel about it?
No, it did work for me. I mean, the film in general worked for me. As you say, you look at it like a bit of a fairy tale, right? Like an urban fable, this kind of thing. And I liked it. I liked the way it told the story. It had some real heart to it. For me, it wasn't overly done. It's like everything from his grandmother to his grandfather as well. The way they both handled grief. It's it was hard. It was It's very heartfelt. I thought the whole thing, just really, really well played. And I felt for the characters. That's it. It's we've all been there. We've all had our we've all had our dance with grief, right? Each and every single one of us here, right? We know what that fucking feels like. And there's never a script for grief. You never know where it's going to take you, and there's no wrong way to grieve. And it's this is what happened to these people. They one of them shut down for a while and then found a way to crawl back to the light, where the other one stayed shut down. Stayed locked away.
Yeah.
And it just both of them. I mean, you're happy that the grandmother's come back and whatever, but you've also got, pretty much like in life, he gets left behind in that grief, and then he has to deal with more grief until by the end of it, it kind of kills him. It's almost like he's blaming himself for what's happened. As you say, it goes in with the whole theme of regret. When really, how could he be to blame for what's happened to his daughter? You know? Well, that's it. But we get that in life. There are times when we don't have anything to do with the situation, but we still feel like we're to blame.
Yep.
That's it. How many times have you been like, I'm sure there are lots of people out there who've been out, haven't had a good time in ages. They go out and have a good time, and then something tragic happens, and they that's because I enjoyed myself. That's because I allowed myself to get out there and feel joy. This is the price I have to pay for it. So therefore, I'm not going to feel joy again, because I don't want to feel like this all the time. But that in itself it makes no sense, because you are feeling that grief. So, but try telling that to someone in that it's stuck in that funk. You can't. It's like a path they have to walk themselves. You can be there. I mean, they can sit at the bottom of this dark well, but all you can do is sit there with them. You can't lift them out. They've got to find their own way out. Because otherwise they don't recover, they don't heal. And it's when they finally find that way out. But unfortunately, for Mark Hamill's character, that's pretty much where he stayed.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, I guess it's probably worth moving on to the first act then. I mean, because we're going to mention the Mark Hamill character. I've got some thoughts there. I mean, the one, just before we go, I would just say that the one thing. Oh God, doing it again.
Do you want to take 2 minutes? Should we have an albatross moment?
No,
sure?
It's fine. I'm fine. I'm just gonna Clarence Bodiger this shit.
Do you want to go and punch someone or something?
No,
I don't know.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Should we tell an inappropriate joke? Should we do that?
What again? Hang on.
Yes.
Cracks knuckles.
There we go.
Hang on.
Will it make you feel better? Go on, do it.
Yeah, no.
We'll allow it. We'll take the bullet. Go on.
Yeah, I should never expose myself in the elevator. It was wrong on so many levels. No. Anyway, yes. Yeah. Do you know how rare it is for a cow to get hit by lightning? Medium rare. I'm using up next week's stuff. Anyway, the thing for me that what the second part represents is, in terms of what it means, is, to me, it's that moment where something for you, whoever you are and whatever you do, it becomes a key moment where you sit there and you go, nothing got better than that. And some people will use that to regret, and they will say, God, I wish it was this good before, I wish it was this funny or this good, or I had this party. And you always, everyone has the same thing. They always have that moment which they always refer back to and go, "Oh, do you remember when?" And everyone has that. Everyone. I don't care who you are. You've always got one moment that you will always go back to, and this dance was Chuck's.
Yeah,
because it symbolizes the moment where, like the dancing with his nan, saying that she came back, because he started dancing with her. Chuck himself comes back because he just decides to start dancing.
Yeah.
And it's a moment that no matter what else ever happens to him, it will always be the moment that he will cling on to because it's the moment you remember.
Yeah. It's because it's that special, he only remembers it as being perfect.
Yeah.
This podcast is the epitome of that. With rose-tinted specs. But unfortunately, we get a time machine. We don't need a time machine. We actually go look back at that movies. And, maybe we kill something very special that we had. Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think the moment we watched Clash of the Titans and it went from, this is going to be fun to fuck me. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What have we done?
Yeah, there are craters in my life like that, definitely.
Yeah, this podcast is definitely cause of them. This is the anti-life of Chuck. This is yes. Yeah. Fuck you, Chuck. Is what this one should be. This podcast should be. Anyway, so yeah, to me it was frivolous in some ways, and in other ways it was. You could refer to it as a filler or whatever. You could just say, yes, he danced and move on. But I think it's significant. And I think it's also interesting that even though we all have slightly different takes on it, it's kind of the one thing that we all refer back to when we're talking about this film, that he did that dance bit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of significant because that's Chuck's perfect moment. That's his moment where he came back to being a kid.
It's also the moment where he has a bit of a strain on his eyes as well, doesn't he?
Oh, God,
and you're thinking, is that the start of it?
Yeah.
That could be the moment that something happens in his life that changes and sends him on his course.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to the first part of the movie now, and the various things that happen.
The first part, as in the apocalypse part, or the first part
the
as
apocalypse
in his
part.
life? All right, okay.
And it's like, I'm wondering, because of the condition that he had, where it slowly took away bits of him, when the internet kind of stops working, is that a metaphor for the fact that he stopped being able to communicate?
Yeah, probably.
No,
I don't know how we get to Pornhub disappearing, but it's clearly significant. But let's gloss over that. It takes away the whimsy.
that could be so many things. Please delete my history.
Yeah, Chuck's last words before he went completely catatonic. Delete my browser history.
You know what?
I think he's dancing. Oh, hang on. No, he's not.
When I heard that in Doctor Who, that made me burst out laughing. When the Doctor he says, "Delete my browser history."
No, it's when the first Doctor, the original Doctor gets hold of Capaldi's sonic glasses, doesn't he? He goes, "What are these?" And he goes, "Sonic glasses." And he goes, What? Why are they sonic? What's this? What is all this? What's browser history? You don't want to be looking at that. Anyway, let's move on to the first part. The first part, which is also ironically the last part. I mean, this is all just putting the pieces together, isn't it? The first part. And before we get into the discussion of it, can we all just take a moment to acknowledge how old we all suddenly felt when we noticed that the grandma was the sexy girl from Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Was that her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mia said,
of course it was.
Yeah. Yeah, Sloane from Ferris Bueller's, who I had a colossal crush on, and
my.
and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god. So
Suddenly, I understand Darren Diamond just a little bit more, and I'm not sure that's a good thing.
This is all related to Pornhub, isn't it?
Yeah, you better believe it.
OAP Hub. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Anyway,
They're just mature. They're just mature. Yes. But you're older than her in that.
it's not the years, honey. It's the mileage. As one archaeologist once said. Anyway, so getting on to the main part of the final act, which is the first act, but anyway, the last part of the movie. Do you think it adds anything to this? I mean, I know it's kind of just filling in the gaps for the most part, but how did you feel about watching that? Because there's only one scene I think really. I mean, it plays out to me a bit like a Shaggy Dog Tale. It's telling you all these little bits and stories and little half bits of information without sort of jumping, without filling it all out. And it's just aiming for that cupola at the end. Really, that's the key to the whole of the first part, I think. But how do you guys feel? I mean, Jim, what about you? You're the one with the book knowledge. How did you feel about it?
Well, I mean, the first part the first part is actually the longest part because that's when you get, well, Chuck's life story or his early life of he loses his parents, he goes to live with his grandparents. Everybody's suffering. Music brings a way back. Music brings him something in school, gives him confidence, finds the art. But it's his first experience of death, having to lose his grandmother as well. And also, how he decides he's going to live his life. And is he going to be following the music of maths or the music of dance? And I say it's all stuff that makes everything else add up. But it's here where you get to the heart of what the movie is all about.
Yeah.
About the truth of this man's life.
Yeah.
And how, it's the little things that stay with you.
Yeah. What about you, Elton? How do you feel about it?
I like the teacher and the idiot sandwich moment. That's yeah.
The idiot sandwich.
Everything. Well, she's describing everything at the very Act 3, isn't she? Of everything that you have created. Everything is in between my hands. What are you? What are you?
Idiot sandwich. No. Oh, no. What? I mean, like, what's in between the thing? Go on, run along, kid.
Yeah.
I've got papers to mark.
Then you also have the room, the granddad's room as well, which I went back and watched the third act again, and you see the locked door in that third act.
Yeah, it's at the top of Chiwetel Ejiofor's stairs, isn't it?
But the first time you see it's a kind of blink and you miss it type moment.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what happened in that last act. I know you see him doing the dancing, meeting the girl, going to the ball. You also have an adolescent Chuck as well, don't you? Once the granddad dies.
Yeah.
And then he inherits it. You see him get the key, and he's like, okay, what's he going to find in that room? And he walks into that room, and it's totally empty. You're like, okay, what the hell is going on here? and then you hear that beep. It's like, oh. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, Granddad saw this as well, and he knew exactly when he saw his day of dying, and you know, would that change your life, people's lives, if they saw the moment of dying? Do you think that would change things, or would you ever be forever trying to change it so you don't see that moment?
Interesting.
Well, for geeks like us, we've all seen enough sci-fi to know that if you try and change it, you will absolutely, definitely make it happen quicker and probably worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is as I believe is often the case with these things, seeing the future with a double-edged sword, you might be able to see how you die, but the room doesn't tell you when.
No.
And as Granddad says, Chucky, it's the waiting is the hardest part. Because Granddad previously had seen how his wife dies, which is why he always keeps that damn Coppola locked up, because you don't need to know.
No, that's true.
And it also is a phrase that comes back with Matthew Illard in the first apocalyptic scene. Sitting there going, the waiting's the hardest part.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but go on, carry on. Sorry, Jim, carry on.
But I think the thing is, it is kind of... it does sound like too pretentious, but this is all, I think, very metaphorical. Because the fact is, we all know we're going to die. That is a fact.
Yep.
Not want to bring the podcast down, but you know what I mean?
That
is a fact we all know.
Yeah.
And I think people who can actually look that in the eye, that will inform your decisions in life. I mean, again, I might be coming from my own perspective. I have cancer. And, you know, I'm very aware of how uncertain life is. And certainly I'm waiting. We keep thinking, should I be doing this? Should I maybe doing something else? You know what I mean? I don't know how long I've got. And it does, you know, not thinking about it morbidly, but just thinking about it sort of practically, of kind of, is there anything I really want to do? Because maybe I should do that now. You know what I mean? If I think kind of, if you live, as an old phrase said, death is a wonderful advisor. Because if you realize your time here is finite, you might, try and put a bit more care into what you're doing rather than just, stumbling along and sticking your head in the sand. And, you fall into that kind of, what John Lennon said, life is what happens when you're making other plans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I think you need that kind of wake up call of, no, you only got so long on this planet. You don't know how long you've got, try and make the best of it, I think kind of, I see like sort of that dance Chuck does is kind of, because that's just before he gets the diagnosis.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like, for just one moment, he becomes the big dancing star in an alternative world he could have been. Yeah. And he sort of not gets his cake and eat it, but he has that moment.
Yeah.
Because he the universe just throws him a bone, and he gives him that opportunity just for that few minutes, just to become a big dancing star and become Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
It's his Eminem moment, Mum Spaghetti and all that lot.
What?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm clearly not coming in clutch on this one, dear. What are you talking about?
This is you and your young words.
Yes.
Your young phrases. What is this?
What you talking about, Grandad? What's the Mum Spaghetti thing?
You'll be saying it's all 6s and 7s next. You watch.
Yeah. The fuck? Mum Spaghetti? Eminem? What are you talking about?
Do you not know the Mum Spaghetti?
No.
Lose Yourself. The track Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of set of lyrics. Is
Well, I never hear the
It's
lyrics
about
of an Eminem
stepping
song.
up at that moment.
Yeah.
Are you going to waste that moment, or are you going to embrace it and take it on and be triumphant through that moment?
Or eat the microphone and shout very loudly till no one understands the lyrics unless they hear it 87 times.
What was it? You only get one shot, so don't miss your chance to throw because opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay. Ditto. Ditto, your provincial putts.
Maybe we should do 8 Mile next week.
Oh, good
Maybe
Lord,
we should.
No. Really, no. And most of the time, that sort of music puts the C in rap. I'm not really up for that. Okay. So how about you, Dal? How are you feeling about the cupola?
The cupola.
Yeah, or the whole first act, last act.
Whole last act.
thing.
Well, I mean, the last act with the teacher kind of explains the very first one that you see anyway, right?
Yeah.
It puts a meaning on it. And it's the Walt Whitman saying, I am large. What was the bloody thing?
I contain multitudes.
Yeah, I contain multitudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was looking at an interesting article on that, actually, and it's, it talks about, every person being that. And so death is every person's apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing of the stars blinking out and various things failing and, disappearing and not working anymore. Yeah, like the body slowly shutting itself down.
Yeah, but I was referring to the last act of the film as opposed to the third act at the start of the film.
The last act. Yeah,
with him in the.
You did ask about the.
Yeah, I did.
How did it connect? About the very first one. How does that fit into all this? And it's like, well, it's part of the thing that he's heard. It's all stuff he's picked up throughout life, which makes this whole journey, including a bit at the end. What would it look like if that were true? That everybody contained a universe. What happens when they die?
Yeah.
I've thought about that myself. It's like, if life's a TV show, what happens to all these characters when I'm no longer the main part of it? Is that it? Is life like a TV show where when you die, that's where your show got cancelled?
There's just some adverts for socks and then it just goes off.
Yeah.
I want a 7th season.
Did it
6
get
seasons
replaced
in a
by
movie?
reruns of fucking Antiques Roadshow or something, or fucking Mock the Week or something like that, or whatever.
Mrs. Brown's Boys in your
Mrs.
instance,
Brown's
I meant.
Boys, fucking hell, yeah. That would just be it, really, wouldn't it? That would just be the icing on the fucking cake.
Oof.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So how
Anyway.
do you the vision in the loft then? Let's just try and finish this up because we're actually doing quite well. It's not midnight yet.
No, it's not. But I
so
think
how-
that
what
follows
do you-
along
yeah.
with the whole theme of, of as has been mentioned here, you've got one life,
Don't miss your
understand.
chance to roll or something.
Yeah. Understand that, you're not getting a rerun. You don't get a do-over. This is it. So what are you going to do with that? I mean, it's unfortunate it takes like a near fatal experience for some people to actually wake up and realise that,
Yeah.
and then they go onto a new path and actually finally start living.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all the whole film. That the end part, I like the end part.
Right. Cool. What do you think? I mean, the actual bit in the loft at the very end. Then.
The actual bit in the loft
Yeah.
where he sees
Yeah.
himself
Yeah.
laying on the bed,
Yeah.
realizes who it is.
Yeah.
Maybe that brings him some comfort because he looks a lot older than what he is You know,
Right.
it's not like he's going to be gone in the next 5 minutes. I mean, he looks fairly old. I mean, I know he's not. He's like 39 when he dies, but the state of him, he looks a lot older than 39.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that provides some comfort to him. Maybe that's a thing of, you know, go out, enjoy yourself. You're not going to die because here's your future. You've got a while yet, so take some risks. You know?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, that was the last risk, wasn't it? That dance in the street. That was his last risk.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say. For me, that loft bit is a sort of moment of defiance for Chuck. It's just that, you know what? Yes, I'm going to die. And so what? I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. It's strange because I kind of think you're supposed to feel like it's kind of uplifting that he shouts at the vision of death and just goes, "Fuck you." You know, I'll do what I do and I'll live how I want to live.
I'll live my life until it runs out.
Yeah, exactly. I'll live my life till it runs out. But actually, and this is the thing I think kind of fumbles that ending, and you guys can disagree with me or agree with me or have other thoughts on it, but he says those things and you're supposed to come away with a, yeah, fuck you, right, well done, Chuck, great work. And then, but then you realise that it won't be for another 39 years until he decides to actually do something about it and actually dance in the street for 10 minutes. And otherwise he's just an accountant.
But isn't that life, though? That's what it's all about, because we don't look at the bigger picture. We tend to look at tomorrow is Wednesday. How are we going to get through Wednesday?
Yeah.
And I've got to go to work tomorrow. I've got to drive to a certain place and spend some time there, probably be called and move somewhere else.
Yep.
And I just see it as moments of, okay, well, I've got to do that, got to do that, got to do that, and then back home. And then we start all over again. And if I zoom out a little bit and see, okay, fine, I'm 2/3 across my journey on this planet. I'm like, okay, maybe screw that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that person cutting in front of you. Don't stress about that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And just take a different view on things. But I think this world that we live in at the moment, it really restricts us from doing that.
Yeah.
We've lost all that. Turning the internet off might be a good thing.
Yeah.
Might be a real good thing, because then we actually open up and actually see our lives for what they are.
Oh, God. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Although people might not be able to download this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Rendering the last 3 hours of our lives utterly meaningless. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I would just say, yeah, the being defiant in the face of it and facing off against, the inevitable is always interesting as a concept, and how you see your victories over it, whether it's a dance in the street or just getting through a day without basically punching your boss in the mouth, any of that sort of stuff, it's all little victories, and that's, I guess, what the whole film is about. It's not that Chuck is anything remarkable, but he's remarkable to himself, and we all are. We, to spare us all the fucking, Reader's Digest homilies, but it is that whole thing of we're all heroes in our own story, and we've all got to take the moments, the big moments and the little moments, and enjoy them when they happen.
Yep.
The one thing I would say is, it's interesting that Mark Hamill's character looked in that cupola, and his problem was the waiting for the inevitable. His life became, he saw that vision as an inevitability that he was just waiting to happen, whereas Chuck dancing and his nan dancing was not waiting for the inevitable, but in fact enjoying what you've got. And I found that quite an interesting sort of juxtaposition, that Mark Hamill's character was horrified by the stuff that was going on, and he obviously saw the death of his wife, the grandma, but instead of enjoying every moment with her, he elected to get drunk and sit with his books and sit with his bookkeeping. And it's like, that's not living a life. And I think that's the horror show from that cupola bit, is not that Chuck sees his own death, but the fact is that Mark Hamill's character sees his wife's death, and instead of doing anything about it and kind of going, well, let's enjoy the time we've got, in fact just sits there and waits for it to happen, which is kind of, intensely sad, because it's...
Yeah, there's two ways of taking that, though, aren't there? You just, well, it's going to happen anyway. Let's just sit here and wait for it to happen.
Yeah.
Or you cram as much stuff into it as you can.
Yeah.
Before it takes you.
Yeah.
There's also the angle of needing order as opposed to the chaos of the oncoming void. It's that. It's sometimes the only way a person can handle stuff is if they've got order in their life, and seeing something like that kind of throws all that, can throw that out the window for a person. And so this is why they sink themselves in things like work. So they've got that structure there, and they don't think of that because it's a distraction as well. And maybe being with his wife, it's a constant reminder that this is going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's what you do with the information. It's it's all going to happen. Just, we all, as Jim rightly said, we all know it's going to happen. Whether it's walking across the street, whether I shit myself to death while on this podcast, I don't know. But the point is, it's all going to happen. The question is once you've been presented with it, what are you going to do with that information?
Yeah.
And in the case of Mark Hamill, he sees it twice. He sees it 3 or 4 times. He's seen it with all the different kids who died in the street, and then he's seen his wife, and then he saw himself. And in all cases, he chose to hide from it and do nothing. Whereas, and make nothing of his life beyond just being a good bookkeeper. Whereas Chuck, he learned to dance. He made the most of it. He had that moment of joy with that lady in the street, and
he shouted back at the void, didn't he?
Yeah, he defied it. He said, "Fuck you." So what? I'm not waiting for it. I'm going to go out and do my own thing, and not worry about it because it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I think that relates to the scar on the back of his hand. Is that need to make his life interesting? So he scratched his hand on the fence, but he told his actual wife that he got it in a fight. And it's like, why is that? Why did he do that? Because he wants his life to sound more interesting than it actually was. And I think we can all relate to that in some way or fashion.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Anyone got any last thoughts on this? Before I start going down the morose route again and have to start quoting RoboCop at myself.
I think once I'd watched it, I was thinking, it is a little bit like Numbskulls, like that old Beano or Dandy comic
No,
strip.
Chopper. It was in Chopper
Or
or
was it in
Beezer.
Chopper? Okay.
Beezer, that's it.
Yeah. I know it's not quite the same because they're not operating that human being, but it reminded me of it because the opening act, I think once things started breaking down and like the street lights started going off, and I was like, okay, I know what's going on here. And as it all shut down at the very end of that act, like, yeah, he died there. Someone's died there. I just need to know who it was. I wasn't quite sure if it was this Chuck or what, but that just represented death to me straight away.
Yeah.
I think they did a real good. They worked it very, very well. It portrayed death to me with the shutting down and seeing that. So yeah, that was.
Would you like to spend 5 minutes quoting RoboCop, Elton?
No.
Do you need the RoboCop pillow?
I don't need the RoboCop pillow, but that was very well done. I recognise signs there, definitely.
Yeah.
And that was, the more I think about it, the more it's like, that was, if that's how it is, I'm all right with that.
Cool.
So, anyway.
Jim, any final thoughts?
No, I will leave it well alone now.
Fair enough.
Having took anyone on an existential journey for this damn film.
Yeah. Darren, any last thoughts?
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay. My last thoughts are, I was going to say that it was like other films in terms of my existential angst and just breaking down crying after experiencing it. I would like to put a veto on the following films.
Okay.
Big Fish.
Oh yes.
Yeah. About Schmidt with Jack Nicholson.
Oh God, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And no, actually, I'll just leave it with those two for the moment because those two were the two that came straight to mind with this film. Not that they're narratively linked, but in terms of the way it left me feeling by the end of each one of them was just like, oh God, I can't face it no more. So if we can just avoid both of those, that'll be great. Just for going forward, because I've only got so many RoboCop quotes, and the RoboCop pillow is looking a little worn.
So we're on with for Dancer in the Dark then. Brilliant.
Yay! Let's do Aniara if you haven't done that one. No, anyway, sorry. Right. So if anybody else has had existential angst or generally has some thoughts on the life of Chuck, by all means, send in your email to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or just leave a message up on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. Or you can go and contact me on Blue Sky on whatever the fuck that address is, which is cartoonbeardy.bsky.social. I'm guessing it's that. Take a guess. Send me a message. Right. I think we'll leave it there. Elton, it is your pick.
It is, yes.
And you were saying in the green room you've got a few on the list that you're trying to work out.
Yeah, I've got 3 on the list at the moment I'm looking at. And I think this discussion has sent me down a path.
Are we doing RoboCop?
We are not doing Requiem. No.
Oh God, yeah. That was the other. That's the third one. No, we're not doing that one either.
So okay, I've got 3 movies. The one we're going to be doing next week is a film I haven't seen. It's a shot in the dark. So apologies if it's naff. I'm hoping it's not, but we shall see how it goes. The other 2 that I'm putting to the side, I am still putting on my docket. One of them is definitely a strong contender for one of my favourite films of all time. So
Okay.
but I don't think it's quite ready for that now. This week is not the week to be doing it.
Okay.
So we are heading over to Netflix.
Okay.
We are going to 2019.
Ooh, okay.
And the little bits underneath the picture on IMDb say financial drama, true crime, comedy, crime, drama, history.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an hour and 36 minutes long.
Okay.
So it's not too long. We are doing The Laundromat.
The Laundromat.
It is by Steven Soderbergh. Stars
Okay.
Gary Oldman, Antonio Banderas,
Yep.
and Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Has anyone
Okay.
seen this yet?
Absolutely not.
Never.
Nope.
Anyone heard of it?
No. I looked on Netflix the other day and it didn't even come up on my bloody list. I don't even know it was on there.
Okay, well then we have this film to watch. It's a mystery monocle.
Right. Jim?
No, I'm drawing a blank. But what's it, 2019?
Yep.
Is this? There's a whole slew of films from 2019 and 2020 and 2021 I have no knowledge of because of a stupid virus.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, The Laundromat. So it's on Netflix. Darren, have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of My Beautiful Laundrette, but that's about it, really.
Okay.
Well, this is a
wow.
stab in the dark, honestly. So
This is definitely a stab in the dark.
yeah.
Cool. Well, we will definitely be coming back to this with eyes open, I guess. Right. So, The Laundromat on Netflix. We shall see what this is, and we shall cast our view on it next week. Right. Well, before we go over to Pimp's Corner, Jim, tell us what's happening over at hypnagoria.com.
This week I just read a book by horror luminary Mike Bracken called Sick Flicks Volume 1, which is an essential encyclopedia of some of the most notorious films ever made.
Nice. Okay.
Looking forward to that.
That sounds good. Yeah. And that's over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Brilliant. And Elton, what about you?
Not a lot is going on. You can probably catch me talking about cars going round in circles on the Grand Prix podcast over at road2media.com.
Awesome. And Darren?
Nah, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing
Okay.
at all.
Nothing. You can find me around the back of the bins. No. Yeah, I'm slowly coming back to Blue Sky, and I'm just posting drawings as and when I do them. So you can find me on the Blue Sky account, which I've tried to say 3 times on this podcast, and I'm not saying it anymore. Find it. Go back and find it there. So there you go. So we will be back next week for The Laundromat. Until then, take care. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton. And we'll see you all next week. Till then, tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
I already came for a kebab.